call bullshit.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Frozen Oil. Once again, it's Rich. And after the last episode, you can obviously tell I've calmed down quite a bit. But the Edmonton Oilers going to Long Island and play the Islanders. I was so on tilt last episode that I said that they're playing the Rangers next. That's how upset I was. I didn't even get the next game right. But regardless, we're playing the Rangers next on Sunday. And we're coming at you now with the Game 66 recap. And the Oilers get the win in overtime. But at the end of the day, I call bullshit. I call bullshit. I didn't see anything positive come out of that game other than the fact that we're still continuing to ride Leon Draisaitl and Connor Mcdavid and just a bunch of passengers everywhere else. Biggest bright spot obviously was Calvin Pickard's performance, which is a huge bright side, but at the end of the day, we've put our faith in Stuart Skinner, and he can't manage to pull off a game where he has a save percentage over 900. So we're going to take a look at some of the stats here in a second. Before we do that, I just wanted to touch on a few things that I noticed throughout this game. So first and foremost, obviously, the offense. The offense is atrocious. Other than, again, 97 and 29 are the only ones that seem to be able to generate any offense. And quite frankly, this has been going on since the Four Nations break. No pitching in from anyone. We've had so many issues with the bottom six producing, but for the top six wingers outside of McDavid and Draisaitl to not be able to produce any points with the most talented player, in my opinion, in NHL history, that being Connor McDavid.
Oh, you think I'm stupid?
And the current, right now, MVP candidate by a landslide, potentially MVP winner in Leon Draisaitl.
Tell me something I don't know.
If you're on those two guys' lines and you can't produce points, that's a huge question mark. That's a huge question mark, and I have taken the liberty of downloading the stats from the last basically 11 games, which includes this last game since the Four Nations break. So let's take a look here at Victor Arvidsson. So Victor Arvidsson here, I mean, you look at these stats. So Philly, 0 goals, 0 assists. Washington, 1 assist. Tampa, 0 goals, 0 assists. Florida, 0 goals, 0 assists. Carolina, 0 goals, 0 assists. Anaheim, 0 goals, 0 assists. Montreal, 0 goals, 0 assists. Dallas, 1 goal, which was that one-timer. And everyone thought Arvidsson's going to be back after that point. And then we go to Buffalo, New Jersey, and the Islanders, all zeros. A total of 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points in 11 games. The -5 plus-minus. Now, Victor Arvidsson was brought in to generate offense. He replaced essentially Warren Foegele. And he's been playing with Leon Draisaitl for a lot of this season, and he just can't seem to produce. So the fact that most recently he's been playing a lot with Leon Draisaitl and not being able to produce any points is a huge concern. It's a huge concern.
No, that's putting it lightly.
So I don't know how much happiness we can take out of this game. It was basically a domination by Leon Draisaitl, and he single-handedly carried the Oilers over the New York Islanders. That's not going to work in a 7-game series. Let's go on to the next big gun, which is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and playing on the top line with Connor McDavid, playing on the first unit power play as well. These are his stats. 0 goals, 0 assists against Philly. A goal and assist against Washington. Then Tampa, Florida, Carolina, Anaheim, all zeros. Montreal gets an assist. Dallas gets an assist. And then Buffalo, New Jersey, New York Islander, all 0 points. For a total of 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points in 11 games. And a -5 plus minus over that span.
It does not look good.
How do you keep him flanking Connor McDavid? If you can't produce points with Connor McDavid, could you imagine a winger playing with Wayne Gretzky, a winger playing with Mario Lemieux, goes on an 11-game span, and that's the point production that he brings? This is a major concern. This is a major concern for the Edmonton Oilers. And if it's not, it's a gigantic, major concern for the fan base. And I just want to point that out. Let's move on to Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman, since the Four Nations break, look at these stats. Philly, zeros. Gets an assist against Washington. Tampa, 0 points. A goal against Florida. Then, 3 games in a row, no points. This guy is on the power play. This guy is major minutes with Connor McDavid. And you go 3 games in a row here with no points. Followed up with 2 goals and an assist against Dallas. One of those goals was a garbage goal, tap-in. It was McDavid's goal. He just pushed it over the line. And then the last 3 games, again, no points. You look at his stats, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points total. Should be 4, but we'll give him 5 with a -2 rating over that span.
Yikes!
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And then there's Podkolzin. Podkolzin, who, I mean, in my opinion, has no business whatsoever playing on a top 2 line. I said it at the beginning of the year. I didn't even know who Podkolzin was before we got him. And everyone's saying, oh, well, he's replacing Holloway. He's replacing Holloway. I'll tell you right now, Dylan Holloway doesn't have stats like this. So all those people that said Podkolzin is going to replace Dylan Holloway, you're absolutely 110% wrong. And look at these stats. All zeros. He gets an assist against Florida. All zeros since then. 1 assist, 1 point in the last 11 games. -4 rating.
He's doing his best.
Playing with Leon Draisaitl, who is absolutely tearing it up. Now, am I going to blame Podkolzin for being put in a position where he shouldn't be put? No, I'm not. That's strictly on the coaching staff. And then there might be a question is, well, who else are you going to put there? And the answer is Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner should have been on the second line from the beginning of the year. By now, he would have built some chemistry with Draisaitl. But you've seen the stats. The stats are right there, and they don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Those are the top 4 wingers on the Edmonton Oilers that surround Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and that's their point production. So are we going to be happy after this win? No. I call bullshit, because you can't be happy basically stealing a win on the backs of Calvin Pickard and Leon Draisaitl and then act like the last 10 games before that didn't happen, and act like the last game the whole team did well, because they didn't. They were really bad, and my opinion, they stole that win. They needed that win really bad, but they stole that win. They didn't deserve it. And we take a look at the game stats, you'll see what I'm talking about. Also wanted to mention the brutal giveaway by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the boards there. While Nurse is pinching, he makes a play, a very weak play. The Islanders go the other way and tie the game. Now, that's your veteran defensive forward making that play. It's inexcusable at this point in the season, and especially the importance of this game. To make a play like that when your goalie's standing on his head, to just make that play on the boards that results going the other way and the Islanders scoring, that's specifically on you. So not only are you not producing offense, you're a main contributor to goals against. And I mean, if Nugent Hopkins is this defensive forward that everybody talks about, are you making those plays? And I love Nugent Hopkins. Like, I'm a big fan of Nugent Hopkins. But this year, it's very, very, very difficult to watch Nugent Hopkins anymore. So Nugent Hopkins, I've been saying this for a very long time, he needs to be taken off, not just the first line, but also the second line, and he needs to be put somewhere on the third line. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Speaking of that giveaway by Nuge, or that turnover by Nuge, which went the other way because Nurse was already pinching. Less than 6 minutes left in the third period. Darnell Nurse kept taking the puck in and carrying the puck into the offensive zone. And he kept taking it to the hole. It's a 1-1 game. What kind of coach is letting their defenseman carry the puck in a 1-1 game that many times? It was over and over and over again where Darnell Nurse was getting the puck and he was taking it to the hole as if he's Jordan and leaving his... If it wasn't for Adam Henrique on a couple of those rush-ins by Darnell Nurse, that would have resulted in a goal. So, I mean, you know, a lot of people jump on Henrique's back for his point production, yes, but he's not here to produce points. He's here to be a defensive forward. And again, if you take a look back at that game and you watch the last 6 minutes of that game, Darnell Nurse kept pinching with the puck with less than 6 minutes left in the game, over and over and over again in a tie game. It doesn't make any sense. And on top of that, if it wasn't for Adam Henrique's defensive awareness, there was a time where it would have went back on a 2-on-1 or maybe even a 2-on-0 if he didn't intercept that puck going the other way while Darnell Nurse was completely out of position. So I'm not too sure how we're going to be happy as Oiler fans. I mean, we're not in this at this point to be, you know, jumping up and down for a regular season win. Those days are way behind us. We are at a point right now with the you know, time that McDavid's career is at and the time that Draisaitl's career is at. These games should be easy wins, and we are looking to the playoffs. We've been looking to the playoffs since our Game 7 Stanley Cup loss. So, again, personally, yes, of course, I'm happy we got the win. But all the stuff from the previous 10 games before that, since the Four Nations face-off, all the bad things are still continuing to happen. And that's just not a good sign. So, let's go over to the stats. Before we do that, let's take a quick moment here to kindly ask, if you haven't already, to consider subscribing to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. Here we are. Final score, Edmonton Oilers 2-1. We take it in overtime. Now let's look at these stats. Shots on goal, 35-25 in favor of the Oilers. Face-offs, 65-34 in favor of the Islanders. Power plays, Oilers go 0 for 2, Islanders 0 for 3. Hits, again, the Oilers almost in single digits. Oilers with 10, Islanders with 21. No energy. There's no energy at all on this team. It's, again, everybody was so pumped after Dallas because everyone knows that's how they need to play. And then they come into Long Island with a measly 10 hits. Blocked shots, 22-10 in favor of the Islanders. Giveaways and takeaways, pretty close. And again, the story of the game is Draisaitl in overtime with a great assist from Pickard. Mcdavid, obviously, on the score sheet. And Draisaitl with an awesome goal once again on the road to open the scoring in the second period. First period was no scoring. And Brown gets an assist. And I think that's the only forward whose name has been mentioned in the last 3 games other than Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. So, and before we get off here, let's just quickly hop on over to the Oilers here. And Calvin Pickard, .960 save percentage. 24 saves on 25 shots. He played amazing, and when you have a goalie that's playing amazing like that, it's just gonna carry your team, and that's, again, shows you how much of an important position it is between the pipes. The Oilers have not been able to get consistency like that. He absolutely stood on his head against Carolina as well. He totally robbed that game as well. So, I mean, Pickard's stolen 2 games. All efforts as far as offensive production are from the same 2 guys, 97 and 29. Everybody else on the team is just along for the ride. That's got to change, and that has to change really quick. We are getting close to the playoffs here. Like, to be playing like this, we have to call a spade here. The Edmonton Oilers, if they keep playing like this, even if they make the playoffs, it's not going to be a long run in the playoffs. I'll tell you that right now. So let's head on over to Twitter X and see what the Oilers faithful have to say after that game. Before we do that, we'll quickly plug our handle there on Twitter X. You can follow us at Frozen Oil Hockey. And let's check out what's going on here. We'll start off here. First one from the NHL themselves. Leon Draisaitl now tied the record for the most OT winners in a single season with 5. Pointing to Pickard there. Goes short side on Sorokin. Man, imagine the Oilers had Sorokin. So a beautiful goal there by the Deutschland Dangler. Here's one from Bumblebee Tuna. 49 goals. Let's go Oilers. There's a picture of Terminator saying Draisaitl holding up Mr. Bean sitting on a recliner there as the Oilers. Yeah, he's been carrying this team big time. I don't know where they would be without Leon Draisaitl right now. Next one is from Jimmy Beetle at Jimmy Beetle 7. I've watched probably 55 Oilers games this year. Am I the only one that thinks Savoy has been the best winger to play on Drai's wing? Chemistry was starting to build before that unfortunate plethora of dashes. He would be the Oilers' probable 4th most skilled forward. Question mark. Inject some youth. Podkolzin would be great on the 3rd line. Put Savoy there. See how it works out. We're running out of time to test stuff. We've been testing stuff all year. Why stop now? Next one is from Eric Friesen. Oilers Leon Draisaitl joins Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby as the only NHL players to record 6 100-point seasons since 05-06. An amazing stat there, and Draisaitl does achieve his 100th point of the season, along with his 49th goal. So congrats to Dry. Next one here from Dan Fika. Hey, look, a 900 save percentage and the Oilers win. I never thought I'd see the day. And he's obviously being sarcastic there because, quite frankly, it's been a number of games in a row where Stuart Skinner's gotten the start and just can't get the saves. Regardless of if he's screened, regardless of what's going on. At the end of the day, the Oilers keep adding L's, and when you look at the goaltending statistics, it's sub-900 goaltending. Next one is from Den Poland at Oilers GM2. What Draisaitl is doing for the Oilers right now is crazy. He is carrying MVP. I agree 100%. Next one from Depressed Oilers fan. Imagine how much fun it would be to have a goalie like Sorokin. Even if your team is playing like trash, you're still in the game. Again, Oilers with 33 shots on net. And Sorokin just playing lights out as usual. He's an elite goaltender. We all know that. It's nice to get, a game here and there from Pickard. You can't ask for more from Pickard. He's 11-2 now as our backup. But I mean, if you have a starting goalie like Sorokin combined with a backup like Pickard, I'd be surprised if the Oilers had 10 losses on the year. Next one is from Puck Princess at Sports Princess 89. Get Dustin Schwartz away from the Oilers organization like yesterday. Enough is enough of him running our goaltending. And so many fans agree with you there, Puck Princess. So many fans agree with you there. I don't know how. Again, we've had 6 head coaches go through the organization since that guy has joined the Oilers goaltending coaching staff, and he's still here somehow. He still has a job. Next one from the Edmonton Oilers themselves. Good night, Oil Country. And just a cool picture. Wanted to share. Dry with the hard hat, Pickard with the belt, and Pods and Kapanen photobombing that one on the sides. Great photo. What a game by Draisaitl. Just absolute domination. It was a almost basketball style domination by one player. Jordan-esque, Kobe-esque. Just takes over the game and ends up winning it single-handedly. Next one from Gene Principe. Leon Draisaitl, when asked about his 4th straight 100-point season, he answered, and I quote, "I love being an Oiler. It means the world to me. I have teammates that understand me, and without them, none of this is possible," end quote. So, just so relieving to hear a quote like that from Draisaitl, especially how much this team has been struggling lately. It's nice to hear that. It's nice to hear that he's still on board and believes in the future here, and that he's happy and all that. And I guess we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But again, from a fan that's been watching this team his entire life, the offensive production is nowhere near where it needs to be. If that changes in the playoffs, that's going to completely change the trajectory of where this team will go in the playoffs. But if they go into the playoffs playing the way they're playing right now, I see an early exit. Plain and simple. Doesn't matter how much I love this team. Doesn't matter how much I love Connor and Leon. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, there's too many holes on this team. And again, we got the win, but this is not a time to celebrate. This is not a time to celebrate anything, in my opinion. So that's going to pretty much do it for today's episode. Thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. We got the Oilers playing the Rangers. We'll bring you a recap after that game. And then we have Game 6 of our simulation series. It's all edited and ready to go. We'll drop that probably on Monday. So that'll do it. Thanks for watching. And most importantly, the Oilers go.
Frozen or hockey, the channel you need. Oilers on the ice, unstoppable speed. Chasing the cup, we're gonna succeed. With David leading, we're built to exceed.